Okay, good. Okay, so triggers and campaigns. There's a little bit of a what is used when, and what's sort of the theory behind um them. So it seems is like a trigger can trigger a campaign, but it also seems like there's some confusion as to what to use
Absolutely.
when.
So when it comes down to triggering things initially, I'm going to share my screen again and I will hop back over to Chris Mayshore CRM. So when it comes down to triggering certain things, so let's say for example, you wanted to trigger based off of a Facebook lead that was coming in and you wanted them to go into a particular pipeline.
Mhm.
Right. So one of the things that I can see is you guys have like 0 to 30 days, 30 to 60 days, 60 to 90, and then it goes all the way out to 180 days plus for different campaigns that you guys have. So it would be based off of finding that unique identifier as to where we're going to plug that individual in. So if you have a form, for example, that was a particular form that was asking a question pertaining to what time frame it was to move, and that time frame was then going to trigger which campaign it's going to go into, we need to make sure that we select that specific unique identifier. So Kevin, have you attached your Facebook and Facebook leads and all that good stuff into the CRM?
Yes, I have.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and just show on this side what that would look like. So I'm gonna name this test BC for my initials, and so if there's afterwards we can I know so I can go back and delete this. Um, I'm not gonna put this in a folder. I'm just gonna leave it out. So you can always add those into a particular folder. So on the left side, we need to determine first and foremost whether this trigger is based off of a Facebook event or if it's based off an event in the CRM specifically. So if we're doing it from Facebook, we will select the drop down and click Facebook. And then what we would do is based off of a lead form submitted. Now from here, we can add additional filters. So we click that, and to define the filters, we just go in the drop down. Most common is inform. So then you can go into inform, select your particular form that you want to work with, and then you can add additional filters based off of that form.
What sort of filters would you be looking for in a
So for
that's
primarily, it would be if you ask questions in a Facebook lead form.
okay.
So if you were to say like, what is your time frame to move, or what's your time frame to sell, time frame to buy, you could then select that from the drop down in the form. So like for this one, for example, I'll give it a second to load, add filter. That is supposed to be right there to where it gives the additional questions. Interesting. So there was a drop down here. I think I'm actually, I apologize, you guys.
That's all good.
Um, that is odd. So I used to pull the fields from the form itself, and then we could use those unique identifiers to add different things onto the action side. And I'm not seeing it right now. So that is really weird. Um, Let me check on another account really fast because this, I do literally have this working this way. Let me just see what I'm doing in one of my clients' accounts in Vegas. And I've got an ABC. Okay, so I have this based off of defined filters. We have the drop down. So instead of doing it based off of, okay. So that makes a lot more sense. So once the lead has been added into the system, it's going to be mapped to those particular fields. So what you do is click the drop down on that particular field itself. So if we were in Facebook form BK IDX feed, so what I would actually do is drop down, and I would do this based off of time frame to buy, or what that specific unique identifier is going to be as a custom field. So let me take this one step backwards so this all makes sense. because I think I actually got ahead of myself by just diving directly into the forms. So I'm going to back out of this. And if we go to Facebook form fields mapping, so what we're going to want to do is take a look at the fields that have been mapped in the particular form itself. So we can see that we have how many beds and baths would your perfect home have, right? Desired, and when would you like to be in your new home, right? So we would select a custom field for this if we actually have a time frame to purchase or time frame to sell.
Yeah, I couldn't find that one when I was mapping that.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
I had the same problem. I couldn't find it either.
Okay. And let me see.
It'd be great if you could actually start typing and it would sort of take you
Yeah,
to the.
unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. I would be stoked if you could do that. I think it's something that's coming. And the cool thing about this CRM is it's the ultimate Lego block set. I mean, you can do almost anything that you want it to do. It's just learning how to do it.
Right.
All right, desired beds, baths, property listing coordinator. So
Mix
I'm going
them.
to actually jump back into settings really quick. We'll add a custom field for time frame. And I'm just going to go ahead and click add that in. And then we're going to find that time frame to move in the Facebook form field map. Let's go ahead.
Wait, hold on. Where'd you do that?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
under
Ninja
settings,
quick.
there are custom fields.
Yeah.
And then custom fields, you would just click add custom field.
So you can,
This is-
so basically you can add custom fields, and then when you're going to, and that's just like a pool you can pull from anytime you
Absolutely.
want. Okay.
And every custom field on your contacts as well is going to show up on the contact record itself
It's
under
going to be,
additional info.
and it's all going to be in this custom fields.
So we can create our own
Absolutely.
custom field, or our own custom.
Absolutely, you can
Nice.
create your own custom
Okay,
fields.
that's
It's good
a
to-
super ninja trick right there.
So now I'm going to pop back over. I'm going to go into this form. We'll select the drop down for time frame, and then we will find that. It's going to take me a minute because there's a lot. There's like 303 total custom values that have been, or custom fields that have been added to this. So it'll take me a second to go ahead and scroll through and find it.
Alphabetical would be good too.
Yeah, that would make life easy, wouldn't it? I mean, if only you could just scroll down to the bottom and get the newest things that have been added, right?
Hmm.
Time frame to move. Okay, update. So now what we would do is go into triggers themselves. And from triggers, we're going to go and see if that test trigger is there. Webhook test, no. So if you don't save or complete a trigger, it will not save into the system. So test, PC, no folder. So we're going to say this lead comes from Facebook, and we're going to say a form is submitted. The filter that we're going to drop down is we're going to find that time frame to move. Once we find the time frame to move, we would then go ahead and select specific unique parameters off of that. So again, it's going to take me a second to find it. Please bear with me.
Mm-hmm.
So time frame to move. The next thing that we would do is we would either select contains phrase, exact phrase, matches intent, or is not empty. So I go based off of an exact phrase. And I believe for you, for these ones, because this was some ads that we had ran for you, would be 1 through 3 _ MO. So that'd be 1 through 3 months. So if they're 1 to 3 months out on their move, then you can go ahead and select the appropriate campaign, or you could select the pipeline itself. So for this particular one, we're actually going to go in and we're going to update opportunity. And so what we would do is we would go into the pipeline. We would go into the MGLBH lead buyer hot 0 through 30. So we don't say 0 to 30 days in our ads. We do 1 to 3 months, but this is the most equivalent to what you guys
Sure.
currently have that I would say. So 0 to 30 days. So based off of the parameter, the lead comes in, they select on the form that their time frame is, let's just say it says 0 to 30 days and not 1 to 3 months on this side. We would then move it into the lead buyer hot 0 through 30 days here. Now the pipeline stage is going to be the very first pipeline stage. We don't want to push this ahead because as we're moving that contact through the pipeline, when we get to the buyer consultation, we have certain triggers that are set up so that text messages, email, certain things, tasks go out on the buyer consultation. So we would select the 0 to 30 days hot for the stage. And then if you guys have any unique identifiers that we add in the future to kind of give a value to this lead. So if they give a, like how much their estimated value of their home is, or what they're pre-approved for and what they feel that they can buy, we could then add lead values down the road, but I'll get away from that for now as to not confuse anyone. Now, at this point in time, what you would do is move this into active from draft. So that way it can be used, and then we would hit save. So now any lead that comes in from Facebook that says 1 to 3 months is going to fall into this particular, is going to go directly into this particular pipeline, and it's going to be in the first stage so that we can kick it off with the intro buyer, texts, emails, all of that good stuff. So does that all make sense? Or anybody that has questions, please feel free to shoot.
Quick question on the 1 to 3 months. Did that come from a drop down, or how did you come up with that 1 to 3 months again?
So this particular form that we're looking at is an ad that we have run at Being on Advertising for Kevin. So I'm going off of a unique identifier that we would have created for him.
Got it.
Your guys' unique identifier would be different, and I'm not aware of what those are. So I'm assuming it would be 0 through 30 days. But the unique identifiers, if it comes through with a space, it's going to have an underscore. So that's why I'm adding the underscore here. So 0 through 30 days. If they say that they're hot, they're looking to buy in the next 30 days, they would move into this campaign here.
Got it.
But this unique identifier comes directly from the Facebook form and the answers that you provide for your clients to, or your potential leads to select.
Okay.
So you're saying we get that unique identifier from the Facebook form?
Yes. So from this particular section, if you're pulling it from Facebook, once a lead has submitted their information, you will go based off of the identifier that comes directly from Facebook. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.